is the people of Rwanda satisfied with the response of their government about this?
I wouldn't have Rwandese either to tell us how to feel. I think that part is kind of messed up a little bit.
Eastern Congo harbors more than 120 rebel groups. Many of them are of Congo origin, but many of them are also from other countries. To mention about a few, Uganda has there's a rebel group there called ADF that fights the government in Uganda. There is the Burundian government alleges that there is a group there called Red Tabara that they claim also is fighting them. And Rwanda has FDLR there that is fighting the Rwandan government. So when the current president came in, and other previous presidents, there's always been talks between, actually when Congo joined the East African community, one of the talks was that, why don't you get rid of all these foreign groups in your country that are destabilizing all your neighbors? So there was somehow of a consensus between all these countries that we shall find a force to come and deal with them. Now, what happened is the government of Congo made a deal with Uganda to go and fight the ADF. Sounds good for Uganda. They made a deal with Burundi silently to go and also fight Red Tabara.
Okay.
They basically everyone, they brought SADC in. And all those groups, if you look at the geographical location, from where ADF is in Bunia, from Bunia to Kampala is so many kilometers. Red Tabara, where they are, from there to Bujumbura, so many kilometers. Rwanda, for so many years, I said, we also have an existential enemy, FDLR, who is just on the border. From Goma to Kigali, it's like 4 hours drive.
Holding a bad
Now,
ideology. Yeah.
all those countries, Burundi, Uganda, Tanzania, South Africa, Angola, Zimbabwe, all of them have been given access to go and find their interests. And the only person that has been denied access or whose problem has been constantly ignored is Rwanda. So for you, FDLR is not there. So this shows you how what the previous topic we're discussing of how this issue of how other countries have interest in Congo, it's mainly because of the insecurity there. And when you look through the insecurity that the eastern part of Congo causes, nobody is more affected than Rwanda.
Yeah, you guys are too close for them.
And our enemy is quite more ruthless.
Actually, like back in 1997, actually, they came back and I think they killed people actually, but they were stopped before they could cause more damage. So it's an very existential threat that has been very many times stressed about. But you see,
but then it's more crucial because Rwandans now, they are fighting people's at the same time ideology. Okay? We are fighting ideology that could be spread into the youth for years, and then they you see? And then we are also fighting certain enemies that are there, that are existing there. So us not letting us go to fight that was a very big threat to Rwanda. Very big threat, which you cannot just...
I totally understand it. And also, you guys have been affected because of how rich Congo is with minerals as well. Every country want to get some of that, you know.
Piece of
Congo. A piece of Congo. Since they are the richest in minerals and diamond, there's a lot of things going on there. So we can also see that. But before I go on, I wanted to ask you, why are all these countries focusing on Rwanda and telling them that they can't do what they're supposed to do, which is protect their nation from this type of threat? And why are they united and attacking Rwanda right now, spreading these misconceptions?
Well, actually, it's when you find yourself actually not looking at the materialistic, point of view, you're always going to have an enemy because everybody, like we said, everybody wants a piece of Congo. And when Congo is not united, that's a market. Because I could give like an example. I've watched a YouTube video. It was recorded like 10 years ago. I think it's by DW, a documentary by DW. They went down to Congo, Eastern Congo, to like try and trace how cobalt is like mined and coltan too. Turns out that the people that those ones that were mining, they would mine for 10 days to obtain what we could say like 12 kilograms of that. And it was worth 10 euros. And the one who would buy it for 10 euros would sell it for more than 500 euros. And that's just a retailer. And with the person who would sell it to would be selling it for like 5,000 euros. Imagine it's unstable. They would just like go and mine because it's unstable. Nobody's controlling. Nobody gives like passes. Even kids would go and mine. And so that type of Congo is beneficial for many
countries.
And so actually Rwanda wanting to defend itself from FDLR, because if we have to fight that threat, it means that for a long period of time, Eastern Congo would be very peaceful. Because they're the ones causing more chaos. That's how I see the picture. They're the ones causing more chaos with the people that are siding with them. And so all the countries siding with FDLR and fighting against Rwanda, you could some sort understand how it benefits them to do that. Yeah.
Rwanda is actually doing well. That's the first thing. Security-wise, whatever. So you gotta find someone to blame if you don't want to cause yourself harm. If you don't want to, for your citizens to ask you, what are you doing in power? There is nothing being done. See? You gotta find someone to push on your burdens for you to stay innocent. I think that's the logic.
That's the logic.
They changed the picture.
If I remember well, there's a speech that was spoken by the president when he was, these votings that took place in 2024, when he wanted to be elected again. He said, when I will get in power, I will automatically ask the parliament to give me permission to shoot directly in Kigali. You see, if you're finding yourself in a position where your ambitions for being elected is attacking another country, it is something, you are not just telling you build roads, you shoot Kigali,
provide education.
It's a mess.
That's amazing. That's an amazing thing that the Europeans don't get about Africa.
They know. They know what's going on.
They know.
Yeah, but they profit from the chaos.
Yeah, because most of those mining sites that you're talking about are managed by these rebel groups, and FDLR is one of the biggest rebel groups there. Their leader is a very rich man. I think maybe until there are allegations of him passing away recently, but he's a very rich man. And so for those people who want to exploit Congo, it is much cheaper for them, like she was explaining, to just get the rebel groups work with them, and then they'll provide passage and all the protection of all those mining sites. And so if a country says, well, that rebel group is our target, then it only makes sense to make that country a problem. But I've always asked and I think the president of our country once asked, if you were to relocate Rwanda, imagine it was possible, and put it next to Madagascar or something, would Congo's problems be solved? And if anyone was to be genuine, the answer is no. So it is impossible to call or to name the problems of Congo on one country or one individual, for that matter, whose problem, the Congo problems are older than himself. So it's
actually
scapegoating, in my opinion.
Actually, blaming Rwanda is a strategy in itself. Because if you blame Rwanda, nobody will talk about M23. Nobody will ask, what is M23? nobody would know what they want to do.
Yeah.
And
who are they?
Yeah. And their aims. So better blame Rwanda, of course. They're already
so
there.
So it's more like a distraction, which
definitely. And it has shifted at a certain point. He accepted the M23. And after accepting them, he later changed and said they're backed by Rwanda. And mind you, very few days ago, I think it was yesterday, if not yesterday, but one, the president of DRC Congo has started saying that the one who is behind M23 is Kabila, that wants to overthrow him. Bajin has shifted from Rwanda, now it's on his predecessor.
The guy was the former president.
Okay.
Was the former president.
So the former president is...
He's saying that the former president is behind M23, wanting to overthrow him.
Because even the current leader of M23 right now, the current political leader of M23 is a former chairperson of the Electoral Commission.
Yeah, AFC.
Okay.
Yeah,
the
so
leader of AFC.
I think
this is so many complicated situations which is going on.
Yeah, very
and
complicated.
Before I actually move on from this and we cut off our conversation about this politics, I wanted to ask you one thing. Is the people of Rwanda satisfied with the response of their government about this?
I would explain this by facts.
Please do.
People would say it's not true, but it's true. We voted our president for 99%. And it is real because you would see even campaigns. Campaigns for us, it was like a marriage. You see?
Wedding. Yeah.
Where the president wouldn't go there and speak, I will do this. No. We citizens, we would go there and thank him. That's how our campaigns are. It shows you a level of trust we have for our president. We do have a 99, you see?
That is...
yes, that's the level.
that's the whole country.
Yes, and that's the reality in Rwanda. We trust him to a very good level, to a point where, someone who rescued you from scratch, you see, and raised you to a point where Rwanda now is being a face of cleanliness, a face of investments, ease of doing business. Is someone that is actually a hero living, you see? So I would say we are definitely behind our president and our government. And yes to your question.
You heard it, guys. Because I've heard some misconceptions like, oh, he invaded the country, or like he's never leaving power or something.
We are the ones making him not leaving the power.
If possible, we could make for his lifetime, we could make Rwanda a monarchy, and then we could resume. I mean, I've always asked myself, so the definition of democracy is for the people, by the people, to the people. We are the people, we want him in power, by the people, we're the ones doing it. And it's to us, actually. But you never see, that type of definition applies to maybe certain countries, because the ones that invented that democracy say that that he's seizing power, he's not letting it go, but it's democracy, actually. I think it has different definitions when it comes to different parts. I don't know.
It lies with the culture, with the history of the country, for them to decide for themselves what democracy have to look like. You see, but then I think this thing of opposition that are being that are brought into Africa, mostly into Africa, you see, it's something that is led by some other powers, you see, where they want someone to be, you see,
the face.
They want someone to be in power.
A puppet.
And then they have the opposition as an option, just in case he doesn't rely with what these powers wants. You see? And then for us, we are just putting it in our minds that it's opposition. For Rwandans, we've left that ideology. You see? If we see that there's someone that is acting, that is doing, that is delivering actually, that is the one for us. To the point where I think the political parties, they also voted for Kagame the other, because we have many political parties, they wanted Kagame, and the RPF, they voted for Kagame, which means we are not now sentimental to what, tribes, whatever. We want someone who will deliver, you see, for the good of all people, not the good of a certain northern
a certain group.
Yes. So that's the ideology in Rwanda. That's our democracy.
That's actually fascinating because hearing from an African mouth that they are proud of their president.
Yeah.
They stand with him. 99% of the country is with him. That is fascinating.
And it's not just Rwandans, trust me. Go to ChatGPT. I found it crazy the other day. Maybe you may think Rwandans are the ones. If you go to ChatGPT right now and type in if Africa was a continent, who would be the was a country? Sorry, it was one country. Who of among the current presidents would be the best to lead it?
Can it be exaggerating?
ChatGPT tells you Paul Kagame. So if AI agrees with this, then. But anyway, maybe one thing I just want to say. The other day I was watching an interview of our previous foreign minister. Her name was Louis Mushikiwabo. She was asked about something like that.
She's now heading the Francophonie.
Yeah, she's now the Secretary General of the Francophonie community
in the world
organization.
Wow.
International organization.
She's a big person.
Wow.
So she was asked about something like that, close to that, on Al Jazeera, and she said, "Well, the yardstick of most countries is that democracy is about confrontational politics. You say this, I say this. It's like confrontation. It's like you're fighting one another." But because for us, Rwanda, we chose something called the consensual politics, which is we look at what the things we agree on. And when you focus on things that you agree on, you notice how many they are and how actually that's all that matters. We all agree that we need good healthcare, good roads, good development. Everyone will agree on that. Then if that's what we agree on, then who is the best to lead us? So for us, we don't begin by asking ourselves, who do we want, and then what will he do? No, we want what do we want, and who's the best to lead it. So depending on what we currently want, that leads you to the automatic who is the president. He has a track record of taking us from the dungeon. He has created a terrific stability, economic development, everything, name it. So based on that CV and where we want to go, you'd be an idiot not to see that he's the only one for the job.
Lucky because
either an idiot or a traitor.
We're actually lucky because he doesn't come telling us, I'll do this. We just know what he's done.
He just acts.
It's not propaganda. It's just
he acts.
We just know what he's
we
done.
gotta be the ones to confess, you see, what he does.
That is beautiful.
We're like, you've done this too. You do this too, please accept. Actually, I think we kind of beg him to do that.
And then at times, Kagame is said to be the one that is imposing us. But then we voted for referendum.
I mean,
when the mandate was done, as per the parliament or the constitution, we begged, could you please come back to power? You see, he had his time to think, whatever. He said, yes, okay.
And
we voted referendum at 90-something% for those people that wanted to. See?
This is
amazing.
Let alone Africa, no country in the world. I don't think no country in the world can say that.
That's why they disagree with what we say.
It's hard to accept it because it's never seen anywhere else. I actually understand those that say this is impossible, but I would invite them to come and talk to somebody else who's not me, because they would think some people might think that I'm sent by someone. No, I'm actually inviting them to go to Rwanda
to see
someone
what's happening there.
I'll definitely go there and tell you what I saw.
Please do.
Thank you guys for tuning in. This has been an amazing episode. Thank you guys for coming in again, for sharing your ideas, and for making time for this podcast as well. So I hope you guys are entertained, also being informed, and this has been so serious podcast, but you guys, I'm very sure you're gonna find it so interesting. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.
See you in
Bye.
Rwanda.